and a good evening to you this fine, lovely Thursday evening. Hey, my name is Yaa'S, and I welcome you to Auntie Yaa'S Book Corner. It's Thursday evening, and today we are going to be having an interesting discussion. But in the meantime, let me share to some groups and we'll come back and continue, okay? So, like I said, I hope that you've had a nice day, whether you were working or whatever you were doing. Hope that it was good for you and brought you fulfillment. Yes, it's always good to do the things that you love to do because that is what gives you passion. And when you do the things that you love, you soar to an all-time, a different level. It's a different level altogether. Yes, so let me just share to a few friends as well, and then we'll be back to continue. I strongly believe that in life you have to find what you are good at and do it with all that is within you. Just do it with passion, do it with zeal, zest. Don't let anything or anybody stop you. Yes. It is always good to have something you are passionate about. Otherwise, there's really nothing to live for. And you just are going through the motions, wake up, get out of bed, go to your 9 to 5 or whatever it is, come home, repeat the same cycle. And then you have this deep longing in your soul and you ask yourself, what is going on? Yes. I'm trying to find. Oh, okay. All right, so let me do this. I'll find the banner for you. And before we start, I am filled with excitement because I have an event that I've been talking to you about for the last month or so, and now we are barely 2 days away from it. So this Saturday, which is September the 25th, join us for this epic event, a book launch party for the beauty of a woman's heart. And it's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is my time here in Edmonton, Canada, 5 p.m. GMT, which is Ghana time, and 6 p.m. BST, British time. The venue is virtual, and the Zoom link, the Zoom ID is what you see there, 994-831-4170. And myself, Yaa'S, the author of The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, I'm being interviewed by Mr. Kofi Matinga Babio, who's a licensed financial professional. So we are hope to see you on Saturday. Do join us and let's interact together. I hope you have your books and you'll be able to participate. Okay? I look forward to seeing you. So today, going back to the banner, we are talking about, in light of this event, I've taken it upon myself to come and share a little bit about myself and what went into the making of the beauty of a woman's heart. So today we're having a candid chat about the beauty of a woman's heart. Yes. So for myself, growing up, I was somebody who loved reading. I was very passionate about reading because our parents made us go to the library. It didn't seem like torture. It's just something exciting that you did because my mom worked at the Ghana Commercial Bank on High Street, and the back of the building is just across from the library, Ghana Library Board. So would hop, skip, cross the street and go into the library and pick out our books. I grew up reading, well, I'll say it quietly, Mills and Boons, Bobbsey Twins, Nancy Drew, Barbara Cartland, and so many other stories. And it's like with us being raised on the African continent, how do I explain it? You had to learn the Queen's language, read write and spell it well. So it was in something that was drummed into us. Yes. For me, I'll tell you that I can speak English very well, but when you ask me where to put my comments, I don't know where to put my comments. So I always have to make a joke about that. Now, my passion for writing started about 5 years ago. And what used to happen is I'd post to groups. I was in different Christian blogging groups, Christian women especially. There were some in the States, even some as far as Australia. And when you shared to these groups, they were they provided you feedback. My writing is based on the word of God from the Bible because I'm a Christian, a believer, and my faith, I really love the word of God. So mixing those two parts and my love for writing. So anything I write, so far the books that I've written are all based on my faith. And so it's been an interesting journey. And these women, when you put a post out into the group, they make sure they read it and they give you feedback, constructive feedback. Like it was just precious to watch. And I'm finding that that is something that I wish that we as a people, my people, we would learn. It will be a good habit, a good skill to acquire. The ability to praise others, the ability to encourage others. It goes a long way. I know because sometimes when I do these lives, I boost, the page so that I boost the live so that other people have opportunity to listen in, especially depending what the topic is. Sometimes you want people to hear it and be blessed. And so, say we finish the live and say every time you have to go back and like the comments. It's part of the whole Facebook, whatever, what, and so that, oh, okay, 41 comments. You come back later after the boosting and you see that a lot of people have looked at it, but the comments are still at 41. But if I was to have thrown this into these groups, you know, the people who are from the environment in which I live now, I'm sure that the comments would have been endless. So I'm just saying for myself, I developed that art of learning to bless and encourage people. So, like I was saying, I started writing about 5 years ago. At the time, I was going through some personal challenges and spiritual as well. And my son pushed me to start my writing. So, but in 2019, after I took a very memorable trip to Montreal, I was born in Montreal, Canada. My dad studied at McGill University. And of all the times that I've been in Canada, I haven't been to that place. 2 years ago, my oldest daughter, Nana, said, Mom, we have to do this. And then I said, well, but we are going to Ghana. And she goes, Mom, there's people who travel 3 times a year. It doesn't matter. We're going to do it. So we did. A lot of times, when you come from the backgrounds that we come from, the mindset that we have is that we're here to make money. We need to work, 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 and help people back home. But we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to go on vacations. We don't even know what that is sometimes. But I tell you, that is where I had my aha moment or illumination. The day, August 13th, my father passed away on August 13th in 1995. And August 13th, 2019 is when I went to McGill University. It was very emotional. When we came back, my daughter and I in the hotel room, I took my phone and I put a memo, put some points on it. I said, Nana, I have to do this book. It is time. Upon all my sons pushing and me resisting, I came back to Edmonton and I searched for, a publisher. And so out I went. I did my first book in 2020. So that was Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. You see, at the time, the beauty of a woman's heart was part of reflections of these were all the posts that I had done and was just sharing to Facebook. That was all that I was content to do. Yes. So if I hadn't listened to my son or pushed myself, I would still be sharing to Facebook post. So anyway, what I did is I split it up because I said it would be too big of a book. And so when I finished Reflections, I was busy working with a mentor, a coach, to help me to put the book out there, push it out there. But it got to a point I realized that I was not getting anywhere. It wasn't helping me. I was not feeling excited. I was not feeling passionate. And there were so many things that I had started writing and just left it. And so it hit me in December as I was starting to write down my goals for the new year. I said, no, I got to do something different. So I decided that I need to just write. I need to just write. So I gave myself a timeline that I was going to focus on the beauty of a woman's heart and get it done. And I met those goals. There's something to be said about the power of writing things down. A lot of times we are not used to planning. We don't plan. We say, oh, it's in my mind. I know what I'm doing. I'll do it. One day comes, 2 day passes, the second day passes, a month, a year, and you're still sitting, not realizing or accomplishing your goals. So I did it. Yes. So March 2021, which is this year, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart came out. Now, I can't say why I picked that title. Like, it just came to me because I found it captivating. I believe that it captures the essence of a woman. And when we say the beauty of a woman's heart, we're not necessarily saying that a woman's heart is always beautiful. We're all human, men and women alike. And what we do is we have our ups and downs. But as we grow and we mature, the beauty starts to show itself. Yes. So the topics in this book, basically, they're just everyday issues that we face as women: weariness, needing rest, the pressures of life, what are our priorities. So, and what I did based upon my co-host Yaa Russell, who has been with me since Reflections came out in 2020, is that to put questions in. So I put questions in, questions for us to reflect on, because I find that, in my generation, I'm in my 60s, I'm past 60 now. And what it is that we grew up in an era of where you are not able to put everything out. You have to be tactful. You can't verbalize everything. So a lot of us, the generations before my time and in my time, I'm sure, we grew up because our mothers were from those past generations and everything is hush, hush, don't talk, don't speak. But if you're not talking, if you're not speaking, if you're not owning what you are feeling, how can you be? Good evening, Bishop. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I trust you are doing well. So if you are not speaking your truth, owning your stuff, whether it be good or bad, that's what we need to realize as human beings, that it is okay to say, hey, I feel weak in this area. I'm not doing so well, and not be criticized or judged because of what you've put out. So this is why I wrote this book, because for myself, I found that, the tendency is that as women, we are groomed. We may lose ourselves due to some programming or grooming that we received in our childhood, our culture. And I found it important to just sit down and write my thoughts. And based on feedback that I've gotten from people, women who have read this book, one lady had told me, Ajoado had said, hey, I read this piece and I felt like you were talking to me. Did she know my story? It's relatable. You can read it and you get a lot out of it, and it will be good material, for younger ladies to even read it and learn, from it. Because even the questions, like for myself, I'll tell you an honest truth. When I've read books that had questions in it, I'll be like, oh, well, I can answer it in my head. I don't bother to write it down, and then I skip along. Hello, Ajua. Greetings and more grace to you, the knowledgeable, inspirational, and Black beauty, Sister Yaya for that, along with all the incredible friends as well as the viewers on the platform. Welcome, Ajua. Like I said, tonight we're having a candid chat about the beauty of a woman's heart. So if you're coming on in the middle, you can go back later and watch from the beginning and you'll be blessed. So, my inspiration to write came from my son. Yes. I'm not, what do you call it? It's that spirit of fear thing that we have in us. There's things that we can do, but we just stop ourselves, or we think that it is out of the realm of our possibility. Other people get to do it, not us. How on earth can I write a book? I was having a struggle that time because, as I said before in the beginning of the clip, my faith is very important to me. So anytime that I'm in church environments, I'm very zealous, passionate, always trying to do things, push, push, push. And then you find yourself that you get to a stage where you're feeling dry, nothing is moving, and you feel stuck. So at that point, because you are giving too much pressure, you might become, you might be viewed in a totally different light, and it might not be a very positive light, and it caused me a lot of heartache. It's like when you love something with the whole look, people can come there and they don't care, they dress up and they come there, and I'm not saying it to say that I'm better than anybody. I'm just owning my truth of who I am, because I'm somebody that I'll get up in the morning and I'll sit down and I'll read my Bible and do my devotions. It's like my host on Saturday, I'm sure he's going to be asking me, what books have you read? And I'm like, right now I'm at the stage of having a lot of books to read, but never finishing them. I'm always stuck in the middle. I have lots and lots of books. But then today I was driving around somewhere and thinking, reflecting. I said, oh, I think I have an answer for him. I'll tell him the truth that I have a lot of, what do you call it? I'm going to tell him that I have a lot of unfinished books, but the book that I read the most, if I can call it even a book, it's like I'm minimizing it when I call it a book, but that it is. The book that I read the most is the Bible, and that is the honest to God truth. Yes. So for me, that is where I get all my material from. Like most of everything that I write, you find biblical passages in it, my first and my second book. Now, the third one is even on the way. That is a devotional. So, as for that, the word of God is all throughout it. But yes, so it is out there. The book that I read the most is the Bible. Yes. So, he kept telling me, and like with all these pressures, he goes, Mom, are you going to sit there and be thinking about these things, or you're just going to start writing? So I started, and that's how I said that I started posting to, Facebook and sharing to Christian blogs and all that. Excuse me. So basically, this book is to empower and inspire women. Yes. For myself, I did not have confidence growing up, and I had to learn to build myself up. Yes, through the word, like many, many years ago. I'm sure you'll find it interesting if I was to tell you that I only became self confident when I came to this environment. And knowing how sometimes, hello, Miss Sage, knowing how sometimes we can be naysayers, someone might well say, oh, she's trying to say, so, Bruni, that's not what I mean. In this environment, yes, it has its flaws, but here there's truth. People own their stuff, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know the truth, you have to face it because you can't live lies. You just can't do that. So for me, I had to rethink the way that I was programmed back home, because if you're going to go talk to somebody and you're not looking at them in the eye, it looks like you don't have self-confidence, or they think you are shifty. I had to work on myself and go, look, this is a different environment. I need to grow. So I started doing it. And, we say that if you didn't, there's lots of people who may spend time blaming family members blaming their parents. I always say that my parents, they did the best they knew how to. So right now, I'm doing the best for me. So also my children will come after me. They'll grow up to be like me and be saying, oh, my mother didn't do this. My mother didn't do that. That is the cycle of life. But what I'm trying to say is that we each have a responsibility. Look, your parents have done their duty. They've given birth to you. I know it comes with different responsibilities that some parents may or may not have done. But generally speaking, so woe is me, woe is me. But what are you going to do about it is my question to you. You have a responsibility to yourself to live the best life that you can live. So for me, having self-confidence is number one for me, because if you don't know who you are, what are you presenting to the world? If you are presenting somebody who's not confident, then you're going to attract the wrong kind of people. They're going to come into your life, abuse you, and then discard you. But if you know who you are, you refuse to put up with garbage from people, because you know what you stand for, what you allow and what you won't allow. So that is the purpose of this book. Yes. And for me too, it's also very important to believe what the word of God says about you. Look, I've heard a lot of things growing up. I've heard a lot of things in my adult life. I've heard a lot of things in my church life. But did that stop me? It's very sad that you can be in an environment and then you don't progress. But when you make a decision and you take a step, you find yourself moving along, moving along. Why am I saying this? I'm just using it to demonstrate the fact that if you don't know what is inside you and you don't invest in finding out what that thing is, nobody is going to come and do it for you. A lot of times we set our sights on people. We think people are going to do this for us, people are going to do that for us. You have to learn to do it yourself. And I think that we, the women especially, we've been told a lot of things. We've been fed a lot of things. And so it becomes difficult for us to, anytime we try to step out and grow, we feel those things that we've been taught pulling us back. Oh, maybe I'm too loud. Or maybe I'm too this. Oh, no, a woman is supposed to be this way. I don't fit the mold. You know what? I'm here to tell you with all pleasure that I don't fit the mold. And I had to come to that realization and accept it and accept myself. Yes, because to my mind, maybe, I say maybe, we were raised as, oh, a woman should know how to cook. I'll ask the question, what about the man? Yes. So for me, I don't think that as a woman, or just because I'm a woman, that when I wake up on a Saturday morning, I should spend the whole 8 hours that I'm awake in the kitchen cooking, because that is required of me. I may spend 2 or 3 doing that, and the rest I'll put to use doing what I love to do. It is important to feed yourself. This is what I hope this book is going to do for some women, even men out there. It is important to feed yourself, because sometimes we forget to dig deep. We've become surface people, very superficial. Sometimes we don't even want to deal with the truth. There's so much we've buried inside that it's hard for us to go digging. And people don't want to do that work. So when women like myself, other women in the community, Ajuodo, Pastor Patience, all the other women do these people don't understand, and even people don't relate, and they might even resent you. Because sometimes when you're doing something great and you get these strange vibes from other women, don't take it personally. It is not you, it is what you are standing for. And sometimes too, it's a bit of, they don't know how you get to do it and they are not doing it. My friend, the word for it is courage. You need courage. You need to live courageously. Yes, you need to live courageously. Look, where we were raised, I said this before in one of the previous lives way back when. There was a time we had a staff meeting and we did this game that, what has COVID taught you? What has it, what new thing have you learned, or skills or whatever? And afterwards, I said to my supervisor, hang on a minute. I put writing was what I'd taken up, right? But it hit me suddenly that in a pandemic, in a time when you would sit down and cry, woe is me, oh gee, what's going on? I'm so depressed, I'm so sad. I wrote 2 books during COVID period. I published 2 books. And so even as I was saying it, I said to my supervisor that in the environment that I come from, it will be viewed as, oh, she's showing off, she's this, that. She says, no, you are not that kind of a person. And she explained it very matter of factly, but it was very precise. And she goes, you have to be proud of what you've accomplished. I am proud of what I've accomplished. And I'm taking a step further. In 2021, I'd have done 2 books. Yes. So you see, you set goals. The only person I compete with is myself. I told myself, yeah, I can do this. Maybe I should. And then I kept pushing. And it's going to be a reality. And that's all there is to it. So if you are listening to my story, learn to challenge yourself. Learn to challenge yourself. If I hadn't challenged myself, this book wouldn't have come out. I'd have said, oh, but you wrote a book in 2020. What are people going to say? You are writing another book so soon. Oh, wait. Oh, they'll talk about me. No, 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 no. There's no time for that. If there's any lesson that we can learn, people have died and gone with their dreams. COVID, people are gone. You and I are here. It should be a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call that live. We spend a lot of times thinking about the future, which is good, but in so then you are thinking about your past, but you forget today. You forget today. Do what you have to do today. Tomorrow may not come. Yes. Let me read a few comments. Well, someone needs to break the cycle of any bad or unhealthy memories to create his or her own by focusing on self. Many people use the excuses and blaming games as part of defense mechanism to avoid having to do any work to grow. That is the sad reality, Ajua. And, there comes a time in life you need to take the bull by the horns and say, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to do it. And you need to discipline yourself. We've talked so many times about this, Ajua. You have also on your platform about pushing yourself, pushing yourself. If you're going to be listening to people, you will never take a step. In taking that step, you need to surround yourself with the right people who speak positive into your life. If you choose to hang out with the old crowd that are not necessarily invested in going anywhere, it's status quo for them, they're happy where they are at, you'll be status quo too. So you have a choice to make. Do you want to go ahead or do you want to stay the same? It's up to you. Ajua says, congratulations and well done with all your accomplishments. Says, thank you, Ajua. It didn't come easy. It has not come easy. You have to fight and you have to push. Yes, it has not. For me, part of the story is like I was talking about being zealous, being this. I found out that in my life, in any situation where I've been in some work situations in the past years ago, or even in church situations where you think, oh, okay, I could be this, or I could be mentored to be this or to do that. Anytime in the prayer circles, they call it, what do you call it? Breakthrough. Oh, okay. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? I think I lost connection for a bit there. So I was saying that anytime, Ajua, please let me know in the chat box if you can still hear me. Anytime that a promotion or something is coming to you, then thank you. A promotion is coming to you, then it becomes a thing of somebody, it goes to somebody else. It just, somebody else comes along and boom. So they call it there's a term for it. Failure at the edge of breakthrough, or almost there syndrome. Almost there syndrome is what it is. And I said to myself, you know what? This has got to stop. I'm in this life and I'm living once. We all have the one chance. What is it that, thank you, message, what is it that I can do for myself that I love to do that will help me grow, give me energy, help me to vibrate, that I'm passionate about? And it's my writing. And like I said to my son. I said, you know something? You put your stamp on it and nobody can take it away from you. I'm doing this right now. It's not just about me. It's like my grandson takes my book and looks at it. He sees the name on there. It's a legacy. It's called legacy building. One day, maybe they are running around not doing what they are supposed to be or whatever, and they'll go, hang on a minute. I know where I'm from. Let me go see. Hey, my grandma was doing this, this, this. Hey, let me also go push in life. Let me, it's encouraging for them to see you pushing, because when they reach the low moments in their lives, it's going to speak to them that I can't give up. We don't come from a family of people who give up. Push, push, push. That's what you have to do. So for me, I said all my life, even in my own family, okay? People, sometimes it's like people think they are more important or more precious than you. As for you, you are just there to serve everybody's it. This is me. My name is on it. Nobody gets to take it away from me. Yes, that is the beauty of it. Do something for yourself that nobody can take away from you. What are they going to say? You've written a pack of lies? Well, if you want to write that review, then go ahead, do that. Reviews can be good or bad, right? Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take the good with the bad. But I'm saying in life, find what you are passionate about and do it with vigor. Do it with conviction. Yes. So in this book, there's 4 parts. Actually, I'm going to take a short break and then I'll come back, if that is okay. Because I thought I was going to be short, but it's getting interesting, so I can't forget myself. Hello, and we are back. So the book again is The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. You can find it on Amazon, Canada, US, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, and the UK, and as well on Innovi Books. And yes, today I'm here talking about how The Beauty of a Woman's Heart came about. The reason why is this. In 2 days' time, we are having a book launch party for The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. The host for this function is Kofi Matinga Bebio, who is a licensed financial professional, and he'll be interviewing myself as the author of the book. And the time is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is my time here in Edmonton, Canada, 5 p.m. GMT, which is Ghana time, 6 p.m. BST, which is British time, UK time. And the venue is virtual. The Zoom ID link is below there. So we are having a candid chat about the beauty of a woman's heart. Yes. So, like I was saying, the book is made up of 4 parts. The first part is called Keeping It Real. Just real talk, real talk, because there's things and lies that we tell ourselves. I talk about my struggles, sometimes coming home from work, and I feel like I want to sit down and write, but there's no food. The food is all gone, and you have to cook. So there goes your plan for the night. And for me, I would rather have sat down and written to my heart's content, but I had to stop and cook. So those are the dynamics that you work with, priorities. Everything has to fit somewhere. And sometimes if you allow it, you will not do what you love. You have to make it work. What I used to do is that on my coffee breaks, I'm not somebody who's given to going for coffee and hanging out and talking and chatting and this and that. If it's a group coffee, say a supervisor says, oh, let's go for coffee, I will. But my coffee break, I take my iPad, I take my notebook, my bag, whatever is in it, go downstairs, sit underneath the building in the food court, open my, what do you call it? My notepad, take my pen out, something that I saw, a scripture that I'd read, I start writing a story. When I sit in front of my laptop and try to write a story, it doesn't work. I have to write it down and then type it later. That's when I write it, I feel better because it just flows, right? So those are some of the things that I've given to doing. So this keeping it real, yeah, it's about real stuff. So one of the thoughts, overwhelmed. Yeah. Keeping it real, finding rest, keeping it real, weariness, all kinds of things. Keeping it real. What's the other one? Friendships. Yes. So, like I say, it's in 4 parts. The other part is comfort for the weary soul. So it's more like kind of an encouragement, encouraging women. And then Dear Woman's Corner is also kind of a devotional, giving advice. And Women Empowered, that is my favorite part because it is, it's inspiring and motivating women to live their best life. Sometimes we, the women in this generation, we think that we are rebels, but go and look at some of the quotes from the women back in the day. There's this lady called am I even pronouncing it right? AYN Rand. And she says, the question is not who's going to, the question is not if I'm going to do, who's going to say I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't question me. I'm going to do what I will do. So, and even like I think Louisa May Alcott, she made The Little Women, the author, she said something about learn to sail your own ship or something or other. Like, and one other woman too, she's in the book somewhere, I forget the name, but she made a comment about when you as a woman, you're able to light your candle, let it give off light so that other women can light, can also light their light from your light. So this goes to women that learn to empower each other. Yes, there are people who will come across like they're empowering you. At the end, then they try to pull you down. No, 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 no. Learn to empower people. Do it from a good place. Okay. But the thing about it too is that we're not saying that sit around and don't let people take advantage of you. Have your eyes well peeled, your eyes open. We feed off each other. Let's encourage each other. And it's not everybody who has learned that fine art, sadly. But you need to invest the time in finding who your tribe is. That's all that I can say on that. Ajua says, we all have one life to live, and it's not my job to worry about what others think of me because I'm not living for them all. I am my own miracle based on my choices, realistic goals, etc. Those who bat into my business simply cannot measure up to my standards and have no purpose in life, which is my personal opinion, due to the fact that I'm more important to them than they are to themselves. Sad. Ajua, the reality of life these days is time is short. Are you going to sit around worrying about what somebody says about you? Look, sometimes the things that you hear can be so shocking, so mean, so nasty. But is that you? If you let it get to you, then it means that what they are saying, there could be a figment or some element of truth in it. I mean, it hurts, words hurt, don't get me wrong, but you need to come to the place where you brush it off and say, this is not what I'm about. This is a distraction. I'm moving on. I'm trying to get over there. And that's where I'm headed. And you keep going. Yes. Because if somebody doesn't love you, there's somebody out there who loves you. And the point is, you need to learn to love yourself anyway, so that if people are not loving you, well, you have enough love for yourself, so you keep moving. That's all there is to it. Life is too short. That is all that I'm saying. Life is too short. I'm not going to sit around worrying or crying about something somebody's doing or not doing. Let me do it for myself. If I don't know how to do it, I'm going to ask somebody who does and who is willing to share or to teach me. Yes. The thing about all this is that if you are unwilling to change yourself, it's any number of things. Fear, you are too afraid of pushing yourself, you are too afraid of what people will say, or you don't have the confidence or whatever. But where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to, you will do it. I'm speaking with you. If you had asked me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if by this time I would have written 3 books, I would have said, no, no way, and I'm speaking the truth. So that tells you that there's a lot of impossibilities. There's things tucked away inside us that we don't even know. So please, instead of wasting time on what people are thinking about you, find out and do it before it's too late. Life is short, too short. So I've talked about the parts of the books. Yes, women, there's a lot in the women, what do you call it? Empowerment section. I mean, the whole book is good, but the women empowerment section, especially, I'm hoping will speak to some young lady, some young adult, whatever, any woman, any man. Yes. Now, why must people read this book? It is relatable. You can relate to it. You read it. There are some books that you read and you go, oh, you can't tell, like you can't relate to it. You go, oh, okay, maybe that's their story. But this is like everyday situations or scenarios that you go, oh yeah, I've been through that. When I went through that, this happened, that happened. Oh, okay. So it's everyday issues that women face, like their identity, priorities, expectations, personal development, family issues. We all have that, so we can relate to it. And what will women get out of this book? It is a confidence builder. I repeat, it is a confidence builder, because we have to answer questions we have never thought to ask ourselves. And like I said, we are not giving much to, if you are busy every day rushing to go and bring in the bacon, I have to go and give money to people back home, and my children, this, that. Who can sit down and think and say, oh, I'm going to answer this question or figure out what I want to do? If you tell people this, even somebody coming will come and listen to this. What is this woman talking about? How did she get to do that? Who has time to do that? We don't understand it, and we might put it down or brush it off to the side. I've done it before. I said that, I forget how many years ago, my pastor had given us a development plan. I looked at it, I'm like, oh, okay, read the questions, but don't really sit down and answer it in any great depth. Now that I've gotten into this, my writing journey, and asking questions, writing, because I'm like, oh, the light bulb went on. So there you have it. Ajua says there should be no vocabulary words such as can't in anyone's life. Just remove the letter T to do your best by acquiring knowledge, taking time to process with clear understanding. Delete what is not working before you implement what will be beneficial for you, one day at a time. Thank you, Ajua, for that. Rome was not built in a day. As Mr. Chemating, my host for Saturday, says, how to eat an elephant, you eat it in small chunks. So in our Kan proverb, we have something that says yankoto ayenda, like you're in a standing position and you want to lie down. You don't just fall from your standing position, bam. You go down, and then, so you have to learn to do little things at a time. Life is in stages. Take that first step and you'll see where it will get you. Yes, take that first step. So if you have this book, you take the time to read and answer the questions, even reading through it. Don't rush through it. Just read it. Let it sink in. It's These are just musings, meanderings, things that I thought of. Thank you, message. Thank you. Please share the flyer too, and get your people to come and listen. Get your networks and your friends to come and listen. You know, it's apart from the quotes and things and the Bible verses that I have in here, anything else is just me digging through my brain and putting it out. There's things that you might write, like when sometimes when you're coming to do a live and you have a particular topic, you'll go and research and Google and find some points also to add to it. But for me, this all here just came from I'm saying that if you are writing a book, of course, it has to be your material. But if you're going to quote somebody, even, you have to put it in there. So I'm saying that I got all this from my brain in here. And you know something? What I said previously about this is mine and nobody is going to take it away from me. Sometimes you'll be in environments that people do not honor you, people do not regard you, people do not respect you, and you start to say, what is going on? What is going on? What is really, really going on? I never thought that I would be in a situation that I would be able to share the benefit of my experiences. Yes. And this is what I do. So that is the value that I've added to myself, in the sense of, you can sit there and believe things people say about you, or you're going to believe what you know. Yes. For me, what God says about me, what I know about myself, I'd rather work with that. So now I tell myself, oh, I'm able to say something and people listen or pay mind to it. That is the beauty of it. That is the beauty. What are you doing for somebody else? How are you impacting people? Do you think you just came here to be by yourself and live your life and be selfish? One word that you speak makes a difference in somebody's life. Look, I am the author of this book, but I can't recommend it enough. I can't. And there's people here who will bear me witness. So I do hope that they'll join me on Saturday and be able to share their thoughts depending how the program goes. So yes, I was here today to share how the beauty of a woman's heart came about, to encourage women, men even. There's a lot of us, men and women alike, who are realizing or who know that they are not doing what they are really here to do. And so that in itself leaves you with a hollowness in your soul, a hunger, and knowing some emptiness. And that emptiness does not go away till you start to take those steps to fulfill your passion and your destiny. So if I didn't say anything at all tonight, I'm just saying that I didn't know I had it in me to write books. All that I know is that, yes, I went to an English for school. I speak big, big English. But to string words together and put it down, it's just something that it comes to me easy. So I can throw it down and then look over it how many times and correct myself and put it together. You have what you are good at. Look, we all have something to bless people with. You are not living your life by yourself. It's called selfish living. You are here to impact. Yes. Ajua says, you're most welcome. Says, many people tend to run foolish races because they want things to change overnight, which is impossible. Patience is a virtue and a good tool to adopt. Change requires time, patience, discipline, commitment, determination, consistency, honesty, understanding, and maturity. Thank you, Ajua. There's a lot involved. Rome was not built in a day. We can't be hard on ourselves. When I say don't be hard on yourself, I don't mean sit there and let the time while away and do something you're supposed to do today in 6 months. I mean, take one little step. You can write out your plan. It can be 10 points. But if at the end of this year you've worked with 3, feel proud of yourself that, hey, I've done 3. The 7 we're shelving to 2022, God willing. I'll take it one by one and start moving. So, again, the book is The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. Please join us on Saturday for the book launch. So, Miss Sage and Ajua, please share the flyer for me if you haven't done so already. And anybody else who came on, Bishop must be gone. He's probably sleeping by now. It's late over there. Yes, for the last time, I'm going to put up the banner. Here it is again. So Saturday, September 25th, 1 p.m. Eastern. The times are all there. Please share. And I hope to see you. I thank you for taking the time to come and listen to how the beauty of the woman's heart came into being and the impact. Look, this is a book that you can give as a present to young ladies. It can be young adults can read it. It can be teaching material for women's ministry. You can give it as a gift to anybody, a new wife, an old wife, whoever, a mother, a daughter, a sister, an uncle. Read it, and, be blessed. Thank you, Miss Sage. So yes, I will leave it here. I thank you for coming. Thank you for all your support. Those of you who come on this platform and share your comments, those of you who took the time to buy the book, thank you. Buy the book and to read it. God bless you all. Yes, I really, really appreciate you, Ajua, Miss Sage, and those of you who will come after, anybody who was watching and I didn't see you comment, thank you so much. Please join us on Saturday. God bless you. Love you. See you.